beautiful thing right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to the white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison. It's September 19th, TGIF, Friday. Starting a little early for you guys today. I told you guys yesterday I do gotta go bring my kiddo to go get her hair did for. That's not all we're doing for her birthday, but she wanted to look pretty for her birthday. We have a thing ready for her, but so I gotta pick her up. She has a hair appointment, so I had to start a little bit early. I had to restructure my day, cut out a workout for you guys, but that's fine. I'm a little sore all over. I haven't taken a day off in a while, so hey, it's about that time. I'll run later anyways, do something. But yeah, I'm here with you guess now. I mean, I guess I haven't really done a whole lot productive other than the normal running around that, us adults do, especially parents. But we're about to get into some productive stuff now, so I hope you guys have had a productive morning, but we're about to continue that trend. Glad to be with you all today. Someone said I started early to get that mullet. No, I didn't. What a mullet! It's actually maybe the opposite. It's far longer in the front. I don't know why you keep thinking I'm gonna get a mullet. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into. We have a fun video for you guys. Real short one. We'll watch a short video. I mean, it is early. We're early in the show today. I'll do it real quick, I guess. Since we are early, I do want to give a big thank you to you guys because. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. I don't think it's anything I'm doing. I mean, I'm just me. I'm just same old me I've been for the past 635 episodes or so. I'm just kidding. Obviously, hopefully I've gotten better, but man, I don't know what it was about the last episode, and then frankly, the last couple episodes just feels like the algo's just here for me. So yesterday's episode, it's probably the quickest. I think I probably had I've definitely had other episodes hit 1,000 quicker, but it did pretty quick. So I was impressed for just a daily morning show. Hey, I don't know what's going on. I guess you guys like me. But with that, let's start off our little morning video. So thanks, whatever you guys doing, keeping up the liking, the sharing, telling everybody all that, whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, keep it up. If this keeps up at this rate with my audience, you guys are going to start thinking that I sold my soul to YouTube or something. But all I can tell you is I didn't. I mean, I guess they're just fed jacketing me. I don't know what to tell you, but... all right, let's go ahead and get into this first video. It really is the only opening video. It's just a goof. It's just a fun one. Apparently, I guess Destiny got the bright idea to take up Charlie Kirk's mantle and do the whole we're gonna go around to colleges and talk to him and all that. So let's see how well this went for him. The audio may be a little rough, but bear with me.
Not half as many as you, sir.
I'll read that again because I know the audio is. I'll read that for you guys. I know the audio is shit. So apparently he did set up, and so what they decided, they did the little setup where you kind of debate me at the college campus shit, and we got here is the first person, this little 15-second clip, which apparently there's a bunch more of these. It's in the caption, some other quotes. But these are great. The first one says, tell me how many kids have you fucked, Destiny? Which, by the way, I don't think we've covered this in this show. Maybe we have. I don't know. I tend to stay away from what's like the too much pop culture stuff because it's kind of gay. Like I don't really care about really a whole lot of anything going on with Destiny. But apparently there's some sort of weird pedo shit going on, or I think we did cover that once. Yeah, but it's just weird. I don't know what's going on with him. But I guess I'm unsurprised. But yeah, let's keep going. The next one is... Let me see. It's ready. How many miles of cock have you sucked, Destiny?
Not half as many as you, sir.
Because your mic's not on, faggot. All right, I want to someone, if anyone finds a longer clip of all this, please send it to me. Preferably like under 3 minutes or something. But this is great. This is gold. Maybe we'll if we find a longer version, we'll have to, especially if it's got cleaned up audio, we'll have to play that for an outro one of these days. Because that's, man, just play that on a loop, and I'll just like, that's like hype music when I'm like, I don't know, let's say I was a fighter or like or whatever, just, in the back where you're like kind of jumping, getting warmed up, loosen up your muscles, like that's the shit. Like, oh yeah, fuck you, Disney. Like, I don't even really hate him that much, but he just sucks. He just sucks, and I don't really know that much about him. But although at the same time, I have seen him like engage and like be goofy, and he can be funny. So I guess I somewhat see the appeal, but Jesus Christ, he is just despicable. All right, let's roll through and say our good mornings. Good mornings, everybody. Good morning, VZN Scorpy, who said, what? You came in like a half hour early to the show and said, huh? What? I don't know what your what is, but good morning if you're still here. Good morning, Tucker Delay. Good morning, Mike Mortal. Good morning, Tom33. Good morning, Black Eye. Good morning, Comment Mama. Good morning, Eris Legacy. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Noname. Good morning. Did I say morning to you already, Hoblo? I think I did. No, I mentioned you earlier because you were talking about the mullet. Robin said she collected eggs. That counts. Hey, good shit. I have Nick Carter hair. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what it is. I used to always, as a kid, think mid parts were so gay, and then I hated them. And then now, as now I'm growing my hair back out. Like, I'm like, I did the side thing for a while, and I just hated it because it's too emo, and it's just not me. I mean, that was me in high school, but not me anymore. So like, and once you get your hair to a certain length, like you either have to start from a side sweep and then do like this weird goofy, like the side sweep long hair is just wild. Like you have to sort of mid part it. You just have to, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm like, I see the '90s thing. I like it. I don't know, just me. I didn't think I'd ever like it. I always just thought it was so corny. All the like the '90s, like Seventh Heaven. All the kids had that perfect little like curly, cute little mid part there. But I'm kind of digging it now. I don't know what it is. Help me out. Hit a like, says Che Coho. Good morning, Chuck Bam. I still don't think there's a UFO in Chicago. Good morning. Let me see. Jose takes Jew money, confirms, says Tom33. Yup. Good morning, Real John Doe. I think it's the first time you're popping in. Eric says he's at that point with his hair as well. Yeah, you get to a certain length, and it's just like you have to mid part it. It's weird. That was something I haven't had long hair, like this long hair, since I was like in high school. Yeah, I'm learning this as I go. But all right, let's go ahead and get into some foreign policy. I think maybe by the time we get to our main topics, the rest of the normal class will show up. Yes, we are starting early. I have trained you guys all too well. I do notice when I start late, it does seem like there's like way more people ready to go. And if I'm starting early, there's like no one here. So I've trained you guys well. So let's go ahead and go through the foreign policy stuff. It's pretty much as it has been lately, pretty much all Israel stuff. I mean, and if it isn't directly in Israel, it's something that Israel is doing. So here we are in Gaza. At least 83 Palestinians killed over the past 24 hours. Now 6 IDF soldiers were killed in 2 separate attacks in Rafah near the Jordanian border. So, okay, that's something. Obviously, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but like I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, I guess. I mean, I haven't heard of an actual attack in a while. But like, I don't know. I guess when you completely slaughter an entire civilization, people start to get a little ornery about it, I think. So yeah, we have that. So report medical sources say 83 people were killed in Gaza past 24 hours. Keep in mind, this is also, I've been noticing too, the way a lot of these articles have been, phrasing these things is like at least, and very much throwing around the at least as opposed to just saying the number, or because I think the reasoning being is probably just the essentially borderline blackout going on over there. Because I think a lot of areas, I don't know, maybe some areas have found ways to get internet or how that's working, but I know there's a lot of the infrastructure is just going to shit there because they're bombing the fuck out of it. So, yeah, we covered this a lot yesterday. I'm trying to find out about the soldiers. Here we go. On Thursday, 4 Israeli soldiers were killed and 3 were injured by a roadside bomb. Okay, so we got roadside bombs. In a separate attack near the Jordanian border, a driver of an aid truck got out of his vehicle and opened fire on Israeli soldiers. So a driver of an aid truck. Okay. 2 Israeli soldiers were killed before a border guard killed the Jordanian gunman. Tel Aviv said the gunman may have had 3 accomplices. Okay, that's interesting. So some sort of driver in an aid truck getting out of his vehicle. So, okay. I'd be interested to learn more about that. Maybe we'll check up on that later. We have a link for separate attack here. Let's see if maybe we can find out more about it. It's from Jerusalem Post. Jordanian humanitarian aid truck driver kills 2 soldiers at Allenby crossing at Jordan border. So the soldiers were approximately 60 and 20 years old. They have 60-year-olds? Oh, Jesus Christ. And 20 years old. We're approximately 60 and 20 years old. So he killed 2, a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old. It's not safe a 60-year-old in their fucking army, but whatever. So Jordanian humanitarian aid truck driver killed 2 Israeli soldiers who were coordinating humanitarian aid. Okay, I feel like there may be more to the story here. I don't know if it is necessarily fair to... I don't know, who knows? Maybe this was a nice IDF unit. So, yeah, at the Allenby crossing of the Jordanian border on Thursday, defense sources told the Jerusalem Post the IDF identified the soldiers who were killed as lieutenant colonel. Holy shit, that's a high up there. That's a high score. I gotta say that. I mean, Yitzhak Harash, who was 68. Holy shit. Okay, so it wasn't even 60. I don't know why they said 60. I don't know why they rounded down there. That's weird. And the other, where was it? Yeah, approximately 60. No, 68 is not approximately 60. If anything, if you're doing approximately, it's approximately 70. Like, I don't know why. That's weird. I don't know. I guess maybe Jerusalem Post is extremely biased. They're trying not to make it look ridiculous. They have a 68-year-old that's, I don't know, kind of on the ground level. It's weird they have a lieutenant colonel, but seemingly going with this aid truck. But anyways, I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the ins and outs of the Israeli military. But that seems odd to me. The other person was a sergeant. Sergeant Oren Hershko, 20 from Tel Mond. Lieutenant Colonel served as an officer in the 309th Reserve Unit, the Civil Administration, which, I mean, I could make a joke here and say, like, oh, okay, that's why he's a lieutenant colonel, and he's doing, like, on-the-ground shit, like, he's reserves, who gives a fuck? Well, I think it's a little bit different with Israeli, so it doesn't really, their reserved active relationship and what it means is, I think, a lot different over in Israel than what it is in the States, so it's not really the same dynamic. But I guess Hershko served as a liaison officer for foreign forces in the Tevel Brigade. So we have a liaison officer and then another officer. Okay. All right. At least one suspected terrorist was killed. However, there may have been an additional accomplice, the sources told the Post. Large number of troops are conducting searches at the scene, including Jesus Christ, that's a weird word. Whatever. So whatever. They're looking for this guy. As soon as he entered the Israeli side of the crossing, he began carrying out the attack. So I guess as soon as he entered Israel, I guess he said, at this crossing here, he opened fire before reaching the inspection area, first exiting his truck, firing at all the people in the area, and then stabbing them. At Allenby Crossing security guards shortly after arriving at the scene, killed the attacker. The IDF decided following the attack to halt aid. Okay, well now we're seeing it. To halt aid entering Gaza from Jordan until all investigations into the attack are completed, Army radio said. Well, that's just great, isn't it? The other routes are bringing humanitarian aid into Gaza will continue as usual. So, yeah. And I guess last September there was another shooting at there, too. We're not going to go into the details of that, but I don't know. I was particularly interested. Like, okay, especially since it was some sort of aid driver. So that's interesting. All right. More in Gaza. We have Israel strikes, hits hospital in Gaza City, killing 19. So they're bombing hospitals again. Are we surprised? No, I'm not. No reason to linger on this story. Half of Americans believe Israel's gone too far in Gaza. So this is from Kyle Anzalone. Says a new poll shows that half of Americans say Israel's onslaught in Gaza has gone too far. Israel has killed at least 65,000 Palestinians and hundreds of thousands of people have been pushed into a state of famine. An AP NORC survey said asked Americans if Israel's military operations in Gaza had gone too far. 49% of respondents said Israel had gone too far, while only 12% replied Israel had not gone far enough. Holy shit. Which I guess whatever. Maybe how many boomers are there out there? I guess the boomers are probably stuck in their ways. But yeah, so this is where the American people are at on this issue, and despite that, this is the fool that we have out here. These are the things he's saying. So let's listen to Donald Trump's own words. He was over in where was he? He was over in England, I think, yesterday, I don't know what the specific occasion was, but they're all photos of them at fancy dinners and stuff like that, all sorts of big CEOs and stuff. But they're doing some highfalutin nonsense overseas right now, and I guess some people asked them or at least one person asked them an interesting question. So let's watch this. Oh, of course, the audio's not working. Give me a minute. Fucking StreamYard. I hate it so fucking much. Give me a second. Let me cancel it. Get out of that. Come back in. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, guys. All right. I think we're back now. All right. I'm getting better at it. Hey, quick. Here we go. All right. We're back in it.
You alone in the whole world have the power to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you...
But you do understand about October 7th.
You do understand.
So
believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old, and just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes, and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, and so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. So I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu
well,
to stop.
It would certainly help, but I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before. I want them back.
All right, so there he is. He's still standing this thing, but that's where he's at. I mean, it's whatever. I thought it was particularly interesting. Here's a thread kind of on this. Let's actually zone in on this one part of the discussion real quick. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I swapped over one thing and StreamYard glitched out immediately. Oh, God, I hate it so much. Give me a second. I'm sorry. All right, now we're back. All right, here you go.
Sure.
Just focus in on this one little part of it.
When will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you...
But you do understand about October 7th.
You do understand. So believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old, and just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes, and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, and so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it.
When will you...
All right. Now, I bring this up again to hone in on this a little bit. Just want to pop in this little thread. I thought this was an interesting little I guess, dig here. Because we still hear occasionally this whole, the 40 beheaded babies or whatever. So there's this thread from ZEI Squirrel. If you want some top tier anti-Semitism, this is where you go. I say that a little bit jokingly, although I don't know. I think this account actually would probably not be upset at me saying that, so I don't know. But I don't like mean it in like a literal sense. I don't know. Maybe there is stuff in there. I just know for in that realm of anti-Israel stuff, you can probably find a lot of stuff in this realm if you want to follow. But here he says, here's Trump today saying the Israelis showed him videos of babies chopped up on October 7th. 0 babies were chopped up. These videos do not exist. So the question then is Trump just lying again, or are the Israelis fabricating fake videos to show him and Witkoff? Which is an interesting point, which I've kind of thought about before. I mean, I don't know. I kind of lean towards they're probably just flat out lying, but, for blackmail purposes or whatever, that's actually like the better take. That's them not being just fully in on it. So yeah, and I'm just kind of entertaining this idea. So he says right here, so he goes on and goes, we already know the Israelis fabricate fake photos and videos to push their 40 beheaded babies and other genocidal atrocity propaganda hoaxes. They put out fake photos Ben Shapiro shared to millions. Are they feeding this AI propaganda hoax slop to Trump? Which, I don't know maybe for those who don't buy it, I don't even know where I could send you to start. Maybe, I think Blumenthal did some good coverage of kind of the, how do we put it? The atrocity porn or something as maybe a way to put it. That's not even the right way to put it. Essentially, because let's be real, October 7th is bad. Not a good thing. It's not cool killing innocent people. But then it becomes this worst day ever, 40 beheaded babies. It's like, way over the top, trying to, and you know, it's kind of in this time where you kind of really can't say anything otherwise. I mean, hell, we're dealing with a similar such situation with all the Charlie Kirk stuff, aren't we? But you know, some brave souls were able to, you know, push back against the mob during this time, and you know, because of that, we're kind of, I don't know, the good people, the most people. I don't know if I say most, but I'd say at this point, I think the 40 beheaded thing, like, or any of these, you know, over exaggerated claims, I don't think really anyone of like real of real import, I guess, uses that anymore that I know of. I mean, you do just see some establishment hacks occasionally, and that's about it. So I don't know, it's interesting, and they are open to doing this. Obviously, and there's many examples. One of the ones we're referring to is this is the Ben Shapiro one that you know, look at this, was supposedly a burnt baby. Which, I mean, let's be real, it's completely unidentifiable. But even then, it's like a lot of people were able. I think, if I recall correctly, people found like literally the exact like what it was an AI swapped over for. Like they were able to. I forget. There was a whole like nerd tech like deep dive into this, and even with me not being very nerdy, I felt pretty comfortable at the end of it saying, "Oh yeah, that's some bullshit," and like probably Ben Shapiro was just given this to him by his Mossad handler or whatever. I mean, I guess you could say, you know, to be fair to him, he just ran with some bullshit. I mean, sometimes it happens, but yeah, and there's many other situations like that too with this. And then he quote tweeted here, Israel's chief forensic pathologist, serial hoaxer. Oh, where did it go? He says serial hoaxer who said repeatedly in print on camera that he personally, with his own eyes, saw non-existent 40 beheaded babies in ovens. Israel gave him their highest award for his genocidal lies. So, I mean, you do have a few people here and there that, you know, were the ones saying this, but like, for example,
you say you've seen people without heads. Does that include babies or children?
Yes.
And you've seen that?
Yes, I see that.
You've seen babies with no heads?
Yes.
Which we never saw proof of, which, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I don't want to see beheaded babies, but there are other people who would be able to verify this, other than just weird secret meetings that elites seem to be able to have. This is why there are certain topics that journalists, you are willing to just go, I'll take your word for. I see enough journalists seemingly in agreement. We never got that with this. Here's more. He goes, this is not the first time a member of Trump's regime said the Israelis took him to a special room to show super secret, confidential Hamas atrocity propaganda hoax videos. Steve Witkoff said the exact same thing to justify his support for the genocide.
This is Southern Command of Israel then showed me a film of what happened on October 7th.
Yep.
And the film is horrific.
Yes.
It is about mass rapes.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. Where'd it just go? Just disappear. Oh, never mind. And then it just showed, that confused me, because at the end of it, it changed to a screen. It got all quiet. So, yeah. And then also the genocidal Israeli death and rape call has a long history of fabricating physical evidence. They made and planted fake ISIS flags. They make Hitler mangas in Arabic and claim they found them in babies' cribs. Lying is like second nature there, which I never got down to the root of that one. Do you guys remember that one? That one was wild. There was one, they found like a Mein Kampf or some shit in like one of them. And I don't know what he means by Hitler manga. Maybe they really did find a Hitler manga. That would be nuts. But yeah, they were like literally finding things like Mein Kampf and being like, oh, look, this justifies our rampant murder of these brown people. But yeah, here's more.
Let me preface these remarks with I never, ever believe Israeli figures. I've been in the government too long to know that the Israelis are patent liars. In their intelligence community, in their propaganda community, certainly, and in their leadership, they are inveterate liars. Let me say that again. They are liars. So you can't believe anything that comes out of Jerusalem.
I have no idea who that guy is, but dope. It claims to have been working with the government. It's not just Ben Shapiro who spread these fake fabricated 40 beheaded babies photos and videos and eyewitness testimonies. It is also good liberal progressives, including Lisa Goldman, co-founder of 972 Magazine, Matthew Gertz of Media Matters, Eric Levitz, and that cunt sex creep Armin Domaluski. Keep in mind, I'm reading someone else's thread. I don't necessarily agree with them. I don't even know who a lot of these people are. Genocide Joe repeated the beheaded and burned baby hoax over and over again. They all gleefully spread these genocidal lies to liberals and progressives. So yeah, just a little bit of, just kind of something to entertain. It's just something at this point to see even thrown. Although I do lean towards, I think he's just lying. I just think he got caught. I don't think he was expected to be asked that. I think it's just the most weak stance. That's just the company line right now. I want the hostages back. The hostages aren't back. October 7th was so bad. That's just where the argument ends. There's nothing that can penetrate that. There's no back and forth. October 7th is bad. It justifies everything. The end. And then if you in the fix, so essentially the problem is October 7th. The solution is give us back all the hostages. Both of those are like, one, you start off with the precedent of October 7th. It's like, for one, that doesn't justify everything. Two, it's like no one believes giving the hostages back is going to stop this. And even if it did, it's like, okay, that still didn't justify all of this. So, all right, let's get into the next one. We got discussions before Iran war indicate nuclear weapons issue was less pressing than Netanyahu claimed. This is from from Kyle Anzalone. Should probably get him on the show one of these days. I know he's picked up a new podcast or something, so I'd like to have him on. He's good. He does good work. But he said private discussions between Israeli officials before launching the war against Iran in June indicate that Tehran's development of nuclear weapons was not an immediate concern. At the time, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Iran's nuclear program was an immediate threat. Once again, I do want to caution, this is a sources say, so private discussions. This is probably some sort of leak of some sort. So, take the word of Kyle Anzalone, whatever his sources are, to whatever degree you're willing to take that. So obviously I do think it's an interesting indication, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But let's be real, this confirms their suspicions anyways. We are at a historic moment with a crucial decision. If we don't stop them within a few years, they will get tens of thousands of kilograms of nuclear explosives, said the Prime Minister said at a top secret meeting the day before launching the war. Iran has already enriched fissile material at a level that isn't enough for 8 to 9 bombs, and they're working on the weaponization. According to the Times of Israel, one unnamed senior military official said the attack would prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon in the long term, and the war would improve Israel's strategic balance. So, I know the big thing was, even fucking Tulsi Gabbard came out, we're gonna, it's was it days or weeks, I think she changed the verbiage to or whatever, and then claimed she didn't say otherwise before. It was bizarre. The Israeli intelligence said, publicly Netanyahu gave far more alarming warnings about Tehran's breakout time to build a nuclear weapon. He said Iran's nuclear teams were racing to build nuclear weapons or warheads. The Israeli intelligence agency Mossad claimed Iran could assemble a nuclear weapon within 15 days. So, let's be real. That's kind of what we all thought anyways. Also, one of you guys mentioned this the other day. Watch this video real quick.
They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And we're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back, because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So a lot of things.
All right, guys, guess we're going back to Afghanistan. But this time it's because of China, so it's okay. Just great. After all of that, don't get me wrong, I definitely, if I did get down to the specifics and looked at how, I'm no military general that knew the proper ways to withdraw troops or whatever. To some extent, it seemed like you're going to have some sort of issues no matter what. I'm sure Biden, if anything, and his underlings probably, if anything, intentionally botched it. So that way we have seated in our mind anytime we deal with withdrawals from war. Oh, remember that botched withdrawal? But at the end of the day, I do still think it's better that we got out than staying there. So if anything, this is kind of, frankly, feels like everyone said this. It was funny how everyone was giving Biden shit when that happened, as if that was a spit in the face of the soldiers, after all they died for, and that was for nothing. And I'm sorry, it was for nothing from the jump. You need to be upset at your elected officials about that. And if anything, this, Biden coming out, you can be upset in the way in which he did it, but the fact that he did it was the proper thing. One of the few things he did that was good. And even then, I guess, overall, it may not have been. He probably fucked it up hardcore if we got down to the logistics of it. But it was good we got out. And now if you really want to be upset about, especially that, they died for nothing, well, now it really will be they died for nothing if we go right back to Bagram. So, many such cases. And then on the Russia-Ukraine side of things, our envoy is literally over here telling them that they could kick their fucking ass. Which, I like the energy, I guess. But, yo, dude, pipe the fuck down. So Keith Kellogg, President Trump's special envoy for Ukraine, had strong words for Russia at a conference held in Ukraine, saying the U.S. could kick Russia's ass. So he made the comments in the context of a conversation he had in the Oval Office about Russia's military might. They were talking about the primacy of Russian military and how they were, pretty good. And I said to the people in the room, we'd kick their ass. It says, what I mean by that is don't take their statements at face value. They're not as good as Putin says they are. And for that, I give great credit to Ukrainian military because they've knocked them down a couple notches. So I don't know. I mean, I just thought that was a funny story. I don't think anything's happening really in the Russia front. We haven't really had much going on there for coverage in this show, and I don't see anything so far in the realm of peace. So I think they've probably just forgot all about that or just whatever, hoping no one gives a shit. But yeah, isn't it great that we got out of all those wars we were promised we were going to get out of? But all right, guys, let's pop back in the chat. That's the foreign policy roundup for now. Let's check in and see who else is here. It's like right when normal show time is, so I think we might have some more people join us. Good morning, Metal Mouth. Says good morning, everyone from Omaha, Nebraska. Good morning. Let me see. Good morning, JC. I think I'm just now seeing you here. What time zone am I in, says Metal Mouth? I am in Eastern time zone, so... Yep. So that's when I say 10:30. That's I mean on the East Coast. Yep. Eric said, "Damn, Lieutenant Colonel. Yeah, that's pretty wild. They got one." So yeah, I know some of the morning dump goes in the afternoon for some of you guys. I'm aware. Yeah, a little bit. So, but at the same time, it's like most of the countries to our west, so they're all behind us. So like Cali, it's like when I start at 11, it's like 8 a.m. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty good time. So is someone having issues with audio? Oh, never mind. I'm retarded. You're referring to my audio from earlier. Good morning, Fire Pixie. Good morning, Martin Mac. So I wonder if Trump ever gets tired of sucking Jucock. Oh, no, it sustains him. Loves it. Good morning, Stall. Says Trump is such a Ziocock. What is StreamYard? StreamYard is the streaming service, like the thing that I use, that like, how do I put it? It's literally like streaming service. It like connects to YouTube, connects to Rumble. It's like the thing I use to stream with. It has all the different, like I can add little doodads, stuff like this, like all sorts of shit. So, I don't know, it's just something podcasters use. So I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be using this sort of language because you guys are like, what is he even talking about? But I have to, and it fucks up all the time, and I look stupid in front of you guys, and it's like I just look stupid. You're like, no, it's the fucking software. And it's like I guess not the premier software, but it's probably one of the most used ones by podcasters. Aside from like Zoom, because people will use OBS, which is like a whole other thing. And like you need a whole producer for that at that point, because you're doing like next level producing. But StreamYard is for like guys like me that's like just kind of want to do a show and want something that's user friendly. So I guess a little pro tip for anyone who wants to start a podcast: start out with StreamYard probably. Good morning, Andrew. They have mangas in Japan. They do have mangas in Japan. So there's a Hitler manga. Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty cool. I kind of want that now. PGR said there was a Hitler manga. He says, I forget the artist. Okay. And good morning, PGR. This is the first I've seen you. Good morning. Bobo says, this is going to sound strange, but I honestly miss the mountains of Afghanistan. I never went there. It was such a beautiful place in the Northeast province. I guess it wouldn't make sense for me as a aircraft mechanic to go there. I don't know, are there even any air bases in Afghanistan? Was Bagram was an air base, but I don't know if it kept heavies. Anyways. I'm just talking to my ass. But yeah, I bet you it was probably beautiful. So let me see who else we got in here. Noname says he's black. Get out. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Good morning, Uncle Ted. Good morning. Let me see. Good morning, Northside. Good morning, Jake Moore. Hey, Bobo. I actually made some ground on the QR code thing. I finally was like, hey, honey, what's all our payment things? Because like we have a Sphinx cat. We have like a cat business. So like we have these payment things. I just don't ever use them because my wife. I don't know. Like she handles with the clients, and that's it's like I'm a tech retard. I do all the manual labor and stuff. But anyways, I finally was like, as I was driving this morning, I was like, send me all that stuff. I have people asking me for money. So she sent it to me. So we've made one step in that way. I'll probably at some point maybe update the video description / podcast description at the bottom with some different payment options. And I think, I'll have to figure out the QR code thing, but I at least have the information. I think I might make a new Venmo too, so it doesn't link to my cat business, so people don't get confused, because it'll say Black Dahlia Sphinx instead of Jose or whatever. So, all right, selling hairless pussy in 2025. Yeah, boy. All right, let's get into the main stuff, what we came here for today. This is actually funny. Not Bobo, it was Nevsky in the chat just the other day, it was yesterday, maybe the day before, was telling me about how Cash supposedly fired 5,000 FBI guys. He actually shared this with me. So we have a little bit of an interesting topic to go into that ties into that. It's funny, actually, it was like a quote tweet that said something along the lines of like the rare Cash App W. And then I even did, someone said something in replies, and I think it even does, like, I bet you, I mean, I was like, I bet you it's probably like I don't know, restructuring it to, essentially for loyalists or whatever. And it looks like I was probably correct. We'll get into that more in a second. But, I mean, here's one thread. I don't necessarily agree with this. Once again, this is from the Senate Judiciary Democrats. So I don't necessarily completely agree with the way they frame this, because I'm torn in this because I don't like the FBI. So less FBI agents is great. But as we'll get into in a minute, you'll see why maybe not so great. But I want to be very clear. I'm not coming at it from the perspective of the Senate Judiciary Democrats, of which the tweet I'm about to read, because they put Kash Patel incompetence exposed. I do believe he's incompetent. It says inexperienced FBI directors purge 5,000 plus dedicated public servants from the FBI. Well, you definitely wouldn't hear me characterize it that way. And when Kash Patel is clearly so unfit to lead, it leaves our country unsafe. This is who he's sidelined, and they're all more competent than him. Now, whatever. They put all the people. I don't fucking care. Fuck these people. Frankly, I don't give a shit about them. I mean, I don't know. I guess to be fair, maybe there's one guy that'd be like, okay, maybe you're cool. All right. But for the most part, fuck off, FBI. So it's like I said, 5,000 less. So you're like, hey, that's 5,000 less FBI agents. Well, watch this and tell me what you think about it after. I still think I lean towards probably I do prefer less of them. I'm good with the 5,000 less, but tell me what you think about this.
I think this is the first time we've actually had the entire text of the loyalty test. I want to read this.
By the way, right now, this is a federal lawsuit that alleges FBI director knowingly broke the law with FBI firings, and this is in the suit. This is the stuff that's coming.
I think this is the first time we've actually had the entire text of the loyalty test. I want to read this from your reporting and from the lawsuit. These were the questions asked of Officer, well, I guess Acting Director Brian Driscoll. Question 3: who did you vote for? Response 3. Driscoll refused to answer this question and stated that it was an inappropriate question with Hatch Act implications. Question 4. Do you agree that the FBI agents who stormed Mar-a-Lago to include the rank and file should be held accountable? Response 4. No. FBI personnel were doing their job in furtherance of court orders, legal warrants, and a properly predicated investigation. Question 5. What are your thoughts on diversity, equity, and inclusion? Response 5. Driscoll mentions that members of his own family were first-generation citizens and that he strongly believes in diversity and a diverse workforce that represents the people the FBI serves. He noted that he does not believe in promoting people for the sole reason of diversity and did not support diluting standards for the sake of diversity alone. Question 6. When did you start supporting President Trump? Response 6. Driscoll refuses to answer this question. Question 7, have you voted for a Democrat in the last 5 elections? Response 7, Driscoll refused to answer this question. After the final question, the loyalty test interview ends. I don't know that I've, in, I don't know, what is it, 10 years of covering the Trump story, I don't know that that's ever been revealed as the actual ambition of a loyalty test atop the FBI. It's stunning to read.
I agree. And it was surprising to learn that Driscoll, the acting director, was asked for his voting history because the whole point, Nicole, as you know, and as now many of your viewers and our viewers know, the whole structure of the FBI and the directorship, a director is supposed to serve for 10 years. It was structured precisely to keep this premier law enforcement agency and its sort of amazing powers apolitical.
All right, so you guys heard that. I mean, we could show you the some of the questions again. I mean, we have what? It's pretty. I mean, it's not like it's pretty over the top actually. We have let me see. We have question. What was it? Question 2. Or,
Brian Driscoll.
Well, it was literally questions like, who did you vote for? Do you support Trump? And I guess it doesn't necessarily say which way you answer if you're going to get fired or not, but it is, I don't know, it seems bizarre. It seems a bizarre thing to put out. And then we have 5,000 agents who recently got fired, and then you associate these loyalty tests, and especially in light of some of the things going on right now. I mean, I don't really know how I feel about the ins and outs. You guys know I don't really give a shit about democracy or any of these gay little things. So it's like, I mean, I do, obviously we need to find a method in which we can, I don't know, move forward that makes sense. So I don't know if it's necessarily good. I don't know what the correct answer is, but it is obviously concerning when the FBI is clearly being subjected to these sort of loyalty tests, and we have someone sitting in the Oval Office that, I don't know, probably committed crimes that these people should be looking into. And I don't mean the gay little crimes from back in 2016 that we heard from the Democrats about this or that or whatever gay shit or oh, Russia, or whatever. No, I mean this dude probably fucked kids. And if he didn't, his friends fucked kids. And he's covering for his friends. So yeah. And then, oh yeah, the genocide thing too. Don't forget about that. So yeah, let's check in the chat, see what you guys, and then we'll get into our next topic. What's up? Guys talking about Valhalla in the chat. Valhalla posting. That's great. What else we got? Tom says, I couldn't care less about feds having to pass a bullshit test with obvious correct answers to get it over with. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like, just lie. Like, yeah, just fucking lie. But even if you do lie, I mean, it's still to my point. That is a little bit of a chilling thing, considering like my last little point there. So yeah. Good morning, Fat Cats. You are late. You're not late. I'm early, actually. So I started a little early today. Sorry. Good morning. 40 in the chat. Only 16 likes. Bump that shit up, guys. Bump it up. All right, let's get into the next one. Here we go. There's more on the hate speech front. So this is it's over at Fox News. To be fair, this is, I guess, a little 10-second clip, but here's Trump in his own words.
Charlie said, that there was no such thing as hate speech. He obviously, no one anticipated what happened to Charlie, but you have always been. Charlie.
Yeah, okay. He did cut him off, so maybe he was going to roll into something else. So it's Charlie said there's no such thing as hate speech, as the lady said, and he goes, he might not be saying that now. A little bit concerning. Of a vibe, a little concerning of a vibe, and so yeah. So now we're in the portion of this episode I titled "Grifting Off Graves." I mean, let's be real, it's pretty much just Charlie's grave, and just as Trump did. And I don't know. There's some. I guess it depends on what you consider grifting, but I just think some people have been particularly, I don't know, gross and weaponizing this emotional energy. So like a lot, like ridiculously. Trump namely being one of them with dumb shit like this. And then more like this one right here. Apparently this is once again sources say, but the Pentagon officials are considering launching a nationwide military recruiting campaign in Charlie Kirk's name. This is according to America First Post. The idea under discussion would frame enlistment as a tribute to Kirk's legacy, positioning him as an inspiration for a new wave of service members. One draft slogan circulating inside the Department of War reads, "Charlie has awakened a generation of warriors." The campaign would turn Turning Point USA chapters and university campuses across the country into recruiting hubs in a bid to drive up enlistment numbers among the youth. That's fucking gross. Now, I will say what Trump did is also gross. I know I will say it is a 10-second clip, so there may have been something he said after, but you pair that with other hate speech statements from the past week or so. Pretty fucking gross. I would actually say what Trump did is more gross than this, because at least what Trump has been doing with the hate speech nonsense is 100% a 180 from what Charlie Kirk would want. I don't know. I was never an avid follower of the guy, but it's incredibly clear. I don't think it could be any more clear that is something that it's literally like a boomer conservative. No hate speeches or no. What is it like the hate speeches? I don't know. I can't even think of what the boomer slogan is. But point being, it's like embroiled into conservative dogma that there's no such thing as hate speech, and I agree with that. It's not it's not picking at it. So the idea that you're going to then try to pull this 180 off of his name. because he happened to die off that. I don't know. If anything, I think that's a kind of a slap to his face in the grave. If you really do want to stand up for the things he stood up for, that you're going to then run with his hate speech nonsense. I don't think he's a. I mean, especially it's like, oh, I don't think he'd think that now. It's like, well, I mean, murder was illegal, so it's like, what are we talking about? So I don't know. It's particularly gross. But now this, I will at least admit, is like a little bit more neutral, but it's still gross. It's still really gross because at least I will give them this. They probably could have got Kirk to do this, when he's alive. Maybe. I don't know. I guess I don't know the inner workings of his heart. I know he was very much kind of in the general conservative, thing with like being anti-neocon, but yet kind of flimsy when pushed on certain things. So, I mean, he's willing to give a little bit. He's also, the conservatives, like to fucking suck off military, everything. Like, oh, you guys are the greatest. Thank you for your service. So, like, yeah, he totally would be one of those type of conservatives that I could see him going for this. But, I mean, doing this off his death, I mean, it's uncertain for one, and then it's just gross. I mean, frankly, I think it's gross recruiting in general. And then to try to spin wars off of this guy, because at the very least, like I said, it's neutral. He was generally kind of anti-neocon-ish, so I think it really is debatable whether he would be okay with this. And even to kind of take that kind of liberty of interpretation was something that anyone with a little bit of common sense could probably take a moment and go, I don't know how clear this is. I don't know, it's nuts. It's nuts that they would do this. So. And then this is actually from earlier, but I thought this was particularly interesting, especially in light of this hate speech nonsense. I know I told you the other day that this kind of first got spun out in the social media sphere from that clip from Pam Bondi. Now that was from Stephen Miller's wife, who apparently has some fucking podcast where she interviews like a lot of State Department officials and stuff. The administration types. So, and then we had this around the same time, actually before this, like right after his death, we also had Stephen Miller, the Trump's chief of staff, saying this.
And let me tell you something I've not shared with anybody, but the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going...
I'm already, he starts off on... Oh, we need to... What did he say? Let's just start this over a little bit.
He sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership.
Start over.
The radical left organizations in this country, he said that we have to dismantle. And take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence.
Okay. So that are fomenting violence. Okay, that was a big thing to thread together. For one, I mean, everyone's dropping texts. I would kind of like to see this one, buddy. He said it was a call. Okay, never mind. It was a call, so you can't prove that. All right. He says they're a call. All right. I was like, okay, because for one, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is believable rhetoric from Charlie, so it is also believable. But the liberties with which the administration is seemingly taking to interpret this is bizarre to me, because it's pretty clear, the things that they are seemingly trying to push are not things that Charlie would be for, up into the point where you have people like Trump, and I've seen other people kind of imply this as well, like, well, I mean, I don't think he expected being gunned down, or I don't think he's not with us now, or like these type of things, these ideas like, oh, he would change his mind. I don't know why he would change his mind. If you could contact him beyond the grave, I don't know why. Like, would he just want to be just? You wouldn't. I don't know. I think it also is pretty fair that he'd be like, no, I'd rather be a beacon for free speech, and that like, no, we're not going to take this and use this as a moment to fucking, I don't know, clamp down on liberties. I don't know. I could totally see that being if we could contact him from beyond the grave, his take. So, but yeah, but then they take this and then they go up to, they kind of take it from another talk about RICO. So
that was the last message that he sent me
Which, keep in mind, Trump, which was after this, when he was talking about the hate speech stuff, he referenced RICO too, which I find interesting that this RICO concept is getting floated around. Also, the language about insurrection, planning against the government. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm genuinely concerned that this could end up blurring into lines where, like, I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I'm theoretically against the existence of the government. I am against the government. I am diametrically opposed to them. The existence of it. I don't think it should exist. I think it's an apparatus for violence, and I think it is a aberration in the market. Like, I am against it. So, like, I very well you could probably twist these things. Now, I don't agree. I don't agree with political violence. To be clear, though, on pragmatic reasons. Not on moral reasons. Because there are plenty of these people that morally deserve it. That it would be moral. But now I just don't think it's pragmatic. I think it usually does tend to lead to more problems. I think, generally speaking, violence, unless absolutely necessary, unless the defense of yourself or one's own property, tends to create a cycle that continues. So, yeah, I don't think you should engage in violence unless it is very clearly in the defense of your property or others' property, or themselves or their property, which you own yourself. So property is kind of all encompassing there. So yeah, just a little concerning.
Or that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection, but we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organization.
And we're engaged. If for those of you who agree with me, we're engaged in conspiracy against the United States. Although I guess we're not really. I guess maybe not. We're not doing it secretly. Although, I mean, who's paying attention? Just like a few hundred of y'all.
And the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile. Because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
All right, it looks like the feds are grifting off this shit too. Here is BLM, and then we'll get into why I'm leaning towards their feds. But watch this. This is BLM in New York City right now, or last night, I think. When was this actually? This was it was yesterday. So it's good.
Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Spit on your grave! Spit on your grave! I'll never be a slave! 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 Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes! Spit on your grave! Spit on your grave! I'll never be slave! I'll never be a slave! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Fuck Charlie Kirk! Racist bastard! Racist bastard! Piss on your ashes! Piss on your ashes!
I do give him credit for so far as rants go. I mean, like, I obviously don't agree with any of the message, like, really at all. But I don't know, got a good rhythm to it, good energy. Impressed. But as our friend Ken points out, he said, I once covered a black militia gathering in Louisiana, in Louisville. I don't know why I jumped to Louisiana. You can LOL at these guys, but you can't say they were a Fed op. They never rioted, and they disappeared after the FBI slapped BS charges on the leader. The feds take out the organic groups who provocateurs can take over. So now, do you guys want to see what a militia, like say a black militia actually looks like that isn't probably been to some degree infected with the cancer that is the intel agencies?
Nice, bulletproof, and stab-proof, but it ain't cuss you out. Take that. All right? Make sure you watch yourself at all times while you're down here in Louisville, right? Because you know the trial got pushed back. Say the 18th, so we still here. They still getting ready for this derby, so we may as well enjoy ourselves. So I have a wonderful afternoon planned for y'all. Yeah. Before I do that, I'm gonna do a story. Y'all gonna be in the story, and then we going to eat. place we're going to eat at is a black-owned family restaurant that just opened up. Everybody in the family, from the 7-year-old to the father, works. Wow. They support us, and the last time we came down, they begged, "Would you please bring them by here?" I said, "We'll eat everything we got." They're gonna be expecting us, and then after that, we're gonna take a stroll downtown. We're gonna walk through. Side night, we in town, tourists. We'll patronize the statue. Then we're gonna stroll over to the crime scene. We're gonna take a look up. All of us. And after that, we'll leave. We're gonna go over to Falcon B&B, where I'm gonna do facts over here. That's how it's supposed to go. Y'all know how this go, right? That's how it's supposed to go. Yes, sir. All right. Got my security detail. As you get, we ain't here to fight nobody. We ain't here to debate with nobody. We not here to comment. Nobody comments on nothing. Don't talk about this case. Don't talk about the NWJ635. Don't talk about anything like that. They want to talk about the sunshine and the fact that the Derby is, how soon is the Derby? What, 2 weeks? 2 weeks, talk about that. Talk about even better, but don't let somebody snare you, and we're not here to challenge nobody. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that if I go by myself, it might be an issue, so I think I'll bring a few friends.
All right, now these, to me, I don't know, I mean, this is a 2-minute clip, but very much seems like a different vibe. This seems like you're, I don't know, just a good old like Southern black folk type, you know, that type of archetype. The good old, like, these do not seem like your inner city youths at all. Now, I think this is a characteristic difference being like a legit entity, but no, obviously I don't know if these guys are feds, but I know the timing, I know, it seems a bit much. It does glow. And I guess kind of in the realm of, I guess, I don't know if I can say it's glowing. I want to be very clear, this one too, I know I labeled this one Grifting Off the Grave. I just kind of include this in this. I'm not necessarily applying anything negative to like Erica Kirk in this situation. Because this clip right here is about to, just so you know, I guess I'll let you know the body of it. This is kind of revealing that she will be the one taking over. But I do think it's interesting, a little thing they said at the end. I just want to be very clear. I guess it sort of fits into grifting, but like I guess possibly in a good way. I still need to be determined. I guess still to be determined how Erica Kirk handles this. I guess newfound responsibility, which I don't know. I mean, on that front, I've from kind of digging into the story and learning where Charlie's head and stuff was. I've seen supposedly things where supposedly she was more based than he was, which surprisingly is actually pretty common with men and their wives. I like in a way, like my wife's in some ways more based than me, in some ways not though. I guess I don't know, but point being is she may still be. I mean, she was the Catholic. She was, I think, Catholic to begin with. So I mean, they did meet in Israel though, so like I don't know how she's going to be on that. But I don't know. I think maybe, especially if there's any truth to some of the stuff going on, and there's something a little bit ominous in here that perhaps this could play into how this is handled as well. But either way, yeah, let's go ahead and play this clip. Of course, it glitched out. Give me a second. I'm going to find who made StreamYard and hunt them down. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Whoever made StreamYard. All right. Here we go. By the way, thank you, Marjan. You are one of the best little dumpers out there. Always hunting down things. I appreciate it. I bookmark it damn near every time. So, all right.
There's a question about who's going to lead the team going forward and who's going to lead this enormously important organization. And I understand you have some news on that front.
Yeah. Since everything has happened, I think the number one question is what is going to happen with Turning Point? What is going to happen next? And I'm
real quick. By the way, someone asked me what the gist of what the guy was saying. I guess I should have been clear. What he specifically was saying doesn't matter. You couldn't really make it out. It was more just the kind of, I couldn't really make out what they were saying in that militia video from before. I see someone in the chat, Fire Pixie, I see you, asking if I can give you the gist. I don't know what the gist was. It just kind of seemed like your normal, like, kind of, okay, guys, here's what we're doing today. Like, just one of those. It was very chill group, and then just kind of looking him over. I wasn't, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. The point really wasn't specifically the like what he was saying. It was just kind of the more, just catch these vibes real quick. So, but go ahead, let's watch this.
pleased to be able to announce with you, and I think it's appropriate because of who you are and who this person is, that the Turning Point board has unanimously selected Erica Kirk as the new CEO and chair of the board. And not only is that amazing in and of itself, but I can assure you, Megan, that Charlie told me personally, and he told others, he probably told Mikey, that if anything ever happened to him, that this is exactly what he wanted.
Wow. I have the chills. It had to be, right? I mean, there's just, I don't think anybody would accept a leader of the organization who they didn't feel completely understood Charlie and would be 100% dedicated to fulfilling his vision for where this group is going.
Well, and let me just add one more thing, and I want Mikey to chime in here as well. But in the immediate hours afterwards, Erica got a call from somebody very important. I'll leave that vague out of privacy, but she got a call from somebody very important. And the question was, what do you know? Sort of asking how much of what's going on behind the scenes and with the relationship, like, what do you know? And her reply back was, everything. I know everything.
Which, I don't know. I'm not gonna go watch this whole show. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm sure it just can't. I tried. One of these ones are just not good. But this right here, I mean, maybe there's something he explained. He got more into that. He seemed like he was leaving it cryptic. I doubt he explained more. But it did seem weird the way in which he brought it up, because it almost seemingly lends itself to thinking that, like, oh, the implication here is that, like, oh, well, she's, and it almost seems like they're trying to give the implication that that question is like the what do you know, I know everything, is almost more in regard to, like, how you would be able to handle these things or something. Like, that's almost how I took it, as like an interpretation, but also it kind of feels ominous. Like, what do you mean by what do you know? And then I know everything. Who is this? Who is the very important person? What does this mean? Now, that is creepy cryptic. So I don't know where this is going. That is cryptic. I don't know how much I like that. But I do see this comment mom is saying, I thought it was kind of wild. She's CEO of TPUSA now. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it is weird. I mean, I see some of you guys in chat also making some speculation. Don't get me wrong, my mind's crossed that. But there's just, once again, there's literally nothing to support that I know of now, other than she fell into that situation. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, she's the wife, so she was basically, reaping the rewards of what he was doing before anyway. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe more will come out to find out that she was some crazed something off on her husband. I kind of lean toward, I mean, while I don't know, maybe. I mean, maybe we'll find out more to come, but I don't know. I don't get that impression as of yet. There's nothing really there's nothing in my opinion, that supports that, aside from the fact that, like, she fell into now running TPUSA. But she's kind of, like, of the options that are out there. I mean, I guess I don't know all the options out there. I'm sure there were some other, but of people that, like, anyone would give a shit about, like, of people like me that are even just cursorily, I don't think that was right, but whatever, aware of them. Like, what other options do you really have? What powerhouses is there that's going to be able to take the reins of this, and likely have to take some sort of PR role as well? Apparently Erica already has her own podcast, and she has a bunch of other stuff. I found this stuff out recently. So she seems to be have a good head on her shoulders. Like, hell, I can honestly see this as be something that, like, ushers her into, like, a presidency or something. Although I guess that would lean into kind of the conspiracy thoughts here. But my point being is, between the other options, like, who are you going to throw in there? Like, or what are you going to, somehow give it to Ben Shapiro? Like, what are we going to do here? I don't really know what better options there really are. So it kind of just makes the most sense to me that she would. So I don't know. I know a lot of people there's nothing there, but maybe more will come. We'll find out. But let's. I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene also jumped into the fray of dropping texts and stuff from Charlie. So this is more of an insight into his brain, I guess. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, Charlie Kirk invited me to speak at AmFest a few weeks ago before he was martyred. This was after I called for AIPAC to register under FARA and said that the nuclear-armed secular government of Israel was committing genocide in Gaza and killing innocent people, Christians, and people, or innocent children, Christians, and people. And Charlie message said you should speak at AmFest. Would you want to also do a debate about AIPAC, etc.? Said, not with me, no pressure, we'll do whatever you want. So he was trying to set up a debate on AIPAC with Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, which, I don't know, maybe he was setting her up to get destroyed, but I don't think so. Who's going to argue? I mean, while I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene's some great intellectual, I think she'd probably be able most people, aside from maybe a Shapiro could slime out the perception of a win. But I think most people, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene could probably handle that. That's not at all me trying to act like she's some fucking genius or anything. I think it's kind of just that easy of an issue. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think it takes a lot of debate skills to be able to handle that one. But all right, we're about to move into the image stuff. They're kind of digging more into the updates on the actual thing itself. Let's check in the chat, see what you guys got to say. Uncle Ted says she'll marry Tina Hat and embrace all their money, their own something, all their money. Essentially, they'll get the money, like so the Jays will get. I don't know. I see somebody saying I don't know. We'll see. Let me see what else we got. I might say I'm lagging a little bit. Perhaps I am. Sometimes the internet. I literally upgrade my internet, so I don't know. Whatever. One of these days, maybe I'll even upgrade it more. PJR says her funeral streaming was in bad taste and was weird. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. To add to the stuff of like, if you do want to get conspiratorial about that, which is, it feels kind of weird to go there because you're like, now you're getting into like, almost like the kind of like Sandy Hook type territory where you're like, the parents are actors. Like, it's not the same thing, but it's a similar vibes. You know, you're like, what's your like? I need something before I start rolling with that. I need something pretty substantive before I start rolling with. I think the wife might be involved. I need something a little more. But yeah, the funeral thing was weird. I thought it was just odd. I mean, I guess like, whatever. That's her husband. She'd know best. But it did feel weird. I don't know. It felt odd. I don't know. I felt weird. Whatever. It's just my. Maybe some people felt different. I'll be honest. I'm frankly fucking sick of all the fucking. The performative outrage and performative sadness. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. There are people who are genuinely upset and genuinely liked him, and there's probably a lot of them, but there are definitely a lot of you that are like, come on, dude, come on. It's much. It's becoming too much. All right. Someone said, might want to look into her being the Dames of Malta. Huh. Are you saying you know something there, or are you just thinking? Because I have heard there are some that I haven't had a chance to dig into, some weird little angles with her, so we'll see. All right. Keep hitting those likes, people. Keep hitting those likes. Let me see. What else we got? Someone says she was wearing the Dames of Malta cross in one of her videos. I think Austin pointed. Oh, okay. Well, if you said it to me, I forgot it, or maybe it was just in one of his other interviews. Wearing the pink Maltese cross. Okay. Well, she was Catholic though, so although, I'd be curious if Kirk was in. I don't know. Well, I guess he hadn't joined yet. So I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, that is interesting. Don't want to make it that, though. But although I think the Knights of Malta thing is a little screwy, because from my recollection, it's like a charity / it's also a secret society. So, like, while don't get me wrong, in the Knights of Malta thing, it is like there is definitely some sketchy stuff going on there. But it's also perfectly believable that, like, some housewife type deal, or, don't get me wrong, I guess she had a little bit more of a pedigree. It's not that crazy that she'd be like, oh, I like to donate to the Knights of Malta. Like, it's also something I think a lot of Catholic people just kind of, from my understanding, are also just kind of involved with, kind of like a Red Cross or something. Same thing with Red Cross. I'm pretty sure I haven't really dug too much into some of the weird conspiracies there, but if you get to the tippy top of that, there's some weird shit there too. So I think there might be a little dynamic there. I don't know what degree we can cast any aspersions on her. I'll have to take some time maybe one of these days. If you guys find any good threads or anything like that, feel free to tag me in it. I'm open to digging into these. But I just don't see anything yet. So, let me see. One of her speeches she's wearing, it said Jug the Goat. Selective outrage, says Hannibal. Yeah. Knights of Malta is a smokescreen, says PGR. Perhaps. I don't know. All right, let's get into the next. Let's get into that image, the image of the killer that's being floated about now. Let's get into it. Here is breaking. Candace Owens releases is an unseen photo of Tyler Robinson at a Dairy Queen in Orem at 6:38 p.m. after the shooting. He is seen unbothered and calm in a maroon shirt, blue jeans, hat, and sunglasses. The Dairy Queen is about 17 minutes from campus. So here we go. Here's the photo that people pass around. Now, I will say a lot of people initially were like saying dumb shit, like, well, I guess not dumb, but like, because I did dig into a little bit about like how something about his like facial hair and how it couldn't be him and blah blah blah. And then when you look into it, you're like, you find the booking photo when he got booked, and he has like what looks like a 5 o'clock shadow. Well, his booking photo I think was like something like 48 hours difference. So it's like, hell, I mean, some guys, definitely more bushy guys, like within the day, if you get a photo, you'll look. But you can see he looks very clean shaven right here. But I guess later that's not the case in the booking photo. But I don't think, if anything, it actually matches, like, because kind of where he is at now or there, and then where he ends up with his growth later totally checks out. But I will say it looks a little off. Now, I've seen other photos. So you see him, he's there in a Dairy Queen, kind of looking up. There's a Superman thing behind him, poster. Now, some people were able to kind of, geolocate or whatever the hell. Oh, by the way, here's a map of where he's at, because Orem. So you see, I think it's showing the difference. I think it's showing from where the shooting was, I believe, to where he was at. So he's a Dairy Queen. Come down here, boom, boom, boom. And here, I'm assuming this is the shooting, or where the shooting occurred. So, yeah, so he was over here, supposedly. If we're going to believe this. Let me get this out, and let me see. So it's about 17 minutes from campus. So it's 6:38 p.m., which, didn't the shooting happen at, like 6, or not 6, but like at noonish? So, I mean, he was like 6 hours later, supposedly just chilling at a Dairy Queen. A little weird. So this is supposedly after the shooting, just chilling. Which, and then some people point out too, I guess, I forget the specifics. I need to start remembering these when it comes to the clothing and stuff. But people have pointed out, I guess he only had, like, it's weird too that, like, I think it might be the jeans they're saying are the same, it's the same pants from before. So it's like there's even a mix up in the whole, changing back and forth narrative, and that like he's got some sort of half mix up here. But I mean, there have been people point out it looks weird, kind of, which perhaps I'm open to the idea of like AI or something, but people have looked and you can see, for example, pointed out the lighting was weird, but if you look, you can even see people have taken photos inside it. You can kind of see right here where it's at, the way the Dairy Queen is situated. It's kind of this weird area right here. You can see how the lighting kind of gets wonky in there. And I think some people have been in an area like this. So I see it did look weird and gleamy, like it wasn't. But yeah. So, I mean, now there are people in here saying it looks like it's AI generated. But now I will say on those like was it AI things have been found a lot of times to be kind of bunk. So yeah. And here's more photos of kind of like the tiles and stuff, so people can go and look at all. Yeah, we see. So yeah, we see that the sub matches up. And then let's listen to what Candace has to say about this, because this came from her, which is what I find interesting. That she is the one that seemingly has this photo, I believe. I'm not aware of this being sourced from anywhere else. I'm not sure where she said this come from. I just know it came out of her. So let's go and watch this.
And this person tells me, actually, the gun was found in the backyard of someone that I know. We all know each other. And it was found by a chicken coop. Like, you could describe it as a wooded area, but, it's pretty suburban here. And it was found by her chicken coop. The locals are theorizing. Again, we have no proof of this. But this is what they are saying, is that they're not being honest about the fact that the house right next door to where the gun was found is a mysteriously vacant home that is owned by the university itself, and that is where they believe that.
We're going to cover some other stuff later. Keep in mind, keep in the back of your mind the university. Keep in mind, universities tend to have federal funding of some sort. Now, there's supposedly, once again, this is on the word of Candace and her sources, so bear that in mind.
That the true shooter ran to.
So she's saying essentially that, they supposedly, what she's saying is from her talks to locals, so which we don't know any of these, so this is, trust me, bro, is that the gun wasn't found in the woods per se. I mean, I guess you could define it that way, but it was found near a chicken coop that, like, I guess kind of like in like where I live. Like, if you live on the outside, like, there's woods, nothing but woods behind me, but I do have people around me in the other ways. So it's like back here is nothing but woods. So if I did have a chicken coop, I probably would actually butt it up towards. Actually, maybe I wouldn't, because I guess then it'd get more likely to get coyotes. Anyways. But point being is that they have it situated near the woods, so essentially they dropped it there. And then they're saying that nearby there's this other house, which let me actually see if I can find. It might be in the comments because they showed where it actually might be in the clip. So let's finish the clip. But this supposed, oh, are you kidding me? I literally rolled up and down and then it somehow restarted the video. All right, whatever. Well, I'll find the spot in a second. But that is essentially what she's saying, is that there is this, instead of it being dropped in the woods, it was supposedly dropped by a chicken coop. And and then went to another house that was like right by there. I think she might show a map in a second. I looked at the map yesterday. It is like a short walk away from the other one. Is a abandoned house that is owned by the university. Once again, all of this, I mean, I don't know, maybe some of this stuff is stuff that can be verified, like so far as the ownership of the house and stuff. But a lot of this, is based on Trust Me Bro from Candace. So hopefully we get more. I mean, it doesn't mean it's false, but let's keep going.
It as a wooded area, a chicken coop, like you could describe it as a wooded area, but it's pretty suburban here, and it was found by her chicken coop. The locals are theorizing. Again, we have no proof of this, but this is what they are saying is that they're not being honest about the fact that the house right next door to where the gun was found is a mysteriously vacant home that is owned by the university itself, and that is where they believe that the true shooter ran to following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They think, and again, they're floating a theory here, that Tyler Robinson was instructed to merely drop off his gun, walks onto campus to simply drop off his gun at the chicken coop place. So I'm going to show you that. Do we have a map of that?
Here we go. You're right. It was in the clip. So here you go. You can see, once again, I'm going to enlarge this for you guys. Once again, trust me, bro. But here you go. You can see the gun location. Supposedly, here's a house. You can kind of see how it is butted up to, there's a little wood. Actually, that's even more deceptive now that I'm looking at it closer now. It's even more deceptive, this concept of in the woods. Like, I guess sort of. I mean, this is maybe 100-foot stretch of wooded area. But yeah, so I guess he crossed the woods there, supposedly dropped the gun right in here by the coop, and then there's a vacant property over here. This is the abandoned house, which is actually literally right next to it. So it's the next house over, which looks substantially large too, which is kind of wild if you compare it to the other ones around it. So I don't know, like substantially large, like almost twice as large as all the other buildings there. So I don't know what's exactly going on that property, but it even looks like behind it here is, I think, this Applied Engineering and Transportation. So these are buildings or other companies and stuff behind it. But yeah, let's keep playing this.
Vacant property and where the gun location is found. And he says you'd have to be an insider to know that the general direction that person is running, even though they're very close, similarly, would lead him to the vacant home that we've all kind of had questions about. It's kind of been vacant for a while. And actually, where the gun is found, it's just two different places.
All right, so that's that. Then our buddy Ken chimes in here, and he says, if you believe Candace after how she treated a key witness of the Butler shooting, then you need help. Now, to my point of why keep your head on swivel and don't trust any of these fucking people, or at least not with a Trust Me Bro. If once Candace Owen comes out with more, legitimate, say one of these people on camera or this or that, okay. But I mean, until then, okay, I'll be, all right, interesting that you're saying that. I'll wait till you hear more. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there is a small part of you go, okay, you remember, you put that in your head of like, okay, here is a piece of information. You do add that to your like Rolodex of information about the case, but you have to seat that with, it's extremely dubious, and if you're going to connect it into other things, you have to bear in mind that you are starting from a dubious start point. If you're inserting that into a thread of evidence or something like this, then this, and this, like a train of logic. You've essentially corrupted your train of logic if you're inserting that into there. So bear that in mind if you lean too much on it. Like you can use it to support other points to be like, and we also have Candace claiming this over here. But definitely don't lean into it. Don't look at it as anything authoritative. Just to be clear. And what we're pointing out here is that Ken's sharing is a picture of a tweet from June 19th, 2025. This is Greg from Butler, Pennsylvania. Many of you guys may remember this guy. This was, I'll zoom in on your face. This is his face so you guys can see it better. Here you go. You guys might be able to make it out. You see that crazy face? That was it's really grainy because I just had to zoom in. But That's the guy after the Trump shooting that was one of the first guys on camera. That was kind of, I forget exactly what he claimed. He's kind of maybe like another person, another building, or I forget what. It was one of the ones that did really go viral, and people were like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" Forget the specifics of it. But then I guess Candace was one of the first people who was able to get a hold of this guy to kind of talk to him and get information out of him. And then this is his take after it. He goes, "Candace Owens is not a good person. After June 13th, I interviewed with her. Everything was off the record, as I was under agreement for a few weeks. I told her I would come on the show when that was over. She lied to me and blasted everything I told her out the next day and even got a bunch of it wrong." Which I'm not going to dig too deep into the specifics of that, but just a reminder, these people fuck shit up. So, and then another reminder with this fucking photo that came out. I put out a tweet this morning. I didn't even think about this. So I got to give a big shout out to my boy Gua. At the Thin Line 123, I think he's actually who made the intro for Already Dead, for those who like that banger. So I highly recommend him as a follow. Makes a lot of great edits. So yeah, but he pointed out he's also knowledgeable in the parapolitical world. Good shit. And so I put out this post that said, "For those clamoring for the death penalty, be careful what you ask for." I said, "Learn from history, dum-dums." And I posted a picture of Timothy McVeigh when he got booked. And what I was driving at, I was intentionally being vague, just because I know that's how I like to be. I don't want to over-explain it. I just had a thought real quick, and it just seemed better to be succinct. Most people aren't aware of this, but they literally, I'm pretty sure they, ran through legislation to be able to hasten the day of his death. So, yeah, I can't remember the exact timetable, but it is a very big part of his story. He literally was, when they killed him, I think he just had decided not to go after an appeal or something. So, point being is, it's there was tons of information that we could have gotten out of this guy. They murdered him super quick and made a point to murder him super quick. They wanted him gone. And that energy that came after Oklahoma City bombing from the people at that time, they were begging for it. As well, it makes sense. I mean, Timothy McVeigh deserved to die. He deserved to die. Fuck him. That thing the guy was saying before, saying fuck Charlie Kirk or spin his grave. That whole thing applies to Timothy McVeigh. Because I do think he had a hand in this. I just don't think he was alone. And I think the day that the United States murdered Timothy McVeigh, I think that was the day that we put to death the best witness of the Oklahoma City bombing and essentially let hordes of people go free by extension. So yeah, yes, justice for crimes is important, but what is more important is, well, actually, maybe that's not even what I was about to say is I guess I don't necessarily care if one of these people meet their death so far as a moral sense or whatever, but once again, I guess kind of to my political violence point earlier, but pragmatically speaking, you should keep this dude the fuck alive. And the same thing goes for this Robinson thing. So this did start out as a cautioning to stop begging for that shit. Cause I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, death penalty," but what they technically mean is yeah, after a crime, and once we find out more information, and if you push them on it, they'd be like, "Well, no, I do want to know more," and they may be like, "Well, he definitely did, and he should be dead, but yeah, maybe you should get a trial." So there is a little bit of a wiggle room here, but the point is they're going to subsume that energy, and they're going to use it for what they want. So even if you are someone screaming, "Put this guy to death, he should be dead yesterday, fuck him," and you're buying into it, you're feeding this energy that will fuck you, that will "Oh, we killed them. Moving on," and then everyone else that was involved in this just gets to slide on under. Because I mean, even as things sit now, even if you want to buy the closest approximation to the official narrative that actually makes sense, it still leaves you with, I think, any rational person say there's probably other people involved. I mean, people bring up all the time the George Zinn guy. It's a little too ridiculous that he's just that crazy and just chose that time. Then you also have Tyler Robinson, who's being, that how do I put this? By the way, I looked into that thing from yesterday. I wasn't able to find any specific quote about pedophilia, but he was looking into weird porn, furry stuff and shit like that. So, but either way, I wouldn't be surprised if he was in pedophilia, and there was some weird quote from that guy that's referenced something about pedophilia. It's really shoddy journalism. I gotta say, whoever that guy is, the Daily Mail guy, I'm unimpressed. If anything, it kind of almost felt like this is, if anything, it felt like propaganda. It felt like, oh, this is just what the government wants us to hear. But I mean, either way, I mean, I'm open to the idea that he also was frequenting in weird furry, and maybe even other weird sexual type stuff. And Because, I mean, hell, that George Zinn guy, they literally busted him with CP. So, and then, as Candace is positing, if she's telling the truth, if it was like, oh, just set this here, how do you get a man to do such a thing? Also, there's the boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. Once again, if we're going to lean on Candace in any way, shape, or form, she's been kind of casting illusions that the family seems to think perhaps there's something more kind of in the vein of the perversion I was alluding to with Tyler Robinson, it seems. So point being is, it's like these are mechanisms of control, and here they are. So, yeah, and then, but I, kind of in the vein of the McVeigh thing, I thought it was interesting that Gwua brought this up. He goes, what do all three have in common? And he shared below this, he put a picture of Luigi Mangione, kind of when he got booked at, where he got caught at McDonald's. You remember this photo? And then he also shared the photo of our Tyler Robinson, who was at DQ and got busted with, and now has this photo. And a fun little interesting thing about McVeigh is this applies to him too. He has a weird video that has an odd place. I mean, I forget the specifics. This was never something I really, I guess, honed in too much on or gave too much significance to, but I do find it interesting that this, I think, if I recall correctly, kind of the time that this came out, that I'm about to show you, kind of fell in sort of a similar, very much vibe checked with the outpouring of information as we've gotten from the Mangione thing and from this Robinson thing. There are similarities. Obviously, you can find a few different things to string together and find similarities, but I do think this is particularly interesting. At the very least, I mean, it's interesting in just like how narratives get out there, whether they're true or not. So I'm making no claims as to the truth of any of these photos or videos, but here is a video of supposedly Timothy McVeigh. It's actually said, here's a summary. Today, prosecutors tried to prove Timothy McVeigh was in Junction City, Kansas, days before the bombing. A Ryder truck rented from a body shop there was used to carry the bomb. The body shop owner says McVeigh rented the truck and pointed to him across the courtroom. Also on the stand today, cab company officials said McVeigh took a taxi from the Dreamland Motel to a McDonald's restaurant just before he allegedly rented the truck. A McDonald's employee said pictures from the security camera show McVeigh in the restaurant. The defense pointed out the person in those pictures is not wearing the military-style clothes McVeigh was supposed to have worn that day. And a clerk at the Dreamland Motel where McVeigh allegedly stayed said she saw him in a Ryder truck. So this is another one of those ones that doesn't match up. Like, I remember there was weird things about the timeline with this. So this is a thing that the feds at a time, I forget the specifics, they rolled this out, and it's one of these things where it seemingly is confirming what they want to confirm. And then now you have, oh, wow, here's this video of someone we're claiming is McVeigh that matches up with some sort of timeline or something. So I just find this interesting. Let's watch this video. I've actually never watched this video. I've heard it referenced. Like I said, it's another something I really took too much interest in because I was just like, okay. I mean, just kind of like, okay, yeah, he was spotted at McDonald's. It doesn't seem to match up with the timeline. A little bit weird. But okay, whatever. Inconsistencies that can be. I mean, there's lots of talks about perhaps doppelgangers and stuff, and this is one of those such reasons. But let's watch this together. Keep in mind, this is old, grainy security video. So here you see him walking in. This is their supposed McVeigh. Keep in mind, he's supposed to be, I think, in a different vehicle or something, which you don't see. I don't think you see the vehicle here. Maybe you see it at the beginning, or maybe they claim. But anyways, this is them being able to put him in a certain place at a certain time in McDonald's. It's no sound, by the way, so sorry, audio people. This is what you miss. Make sure you leave that 5-star review, though. So yeah, that's all the video. I mean, you can see it again. Here's McDonald's. Actually, here's the outside. Okay, this is where I guess they had an outside video at the time too. So there's no Ryder truck. That's the key thing here. So supposedly there were other things in the timeline that show there should have been a Ryder truck. So yeah, here you go. You can see other angles. So they had other security videos going on at the time. You see out here. There's the McDonald's. There's no Ryder trucks visible. Still no Ryder trucks. Also, like I said, they supposedly wearing different clothes than he was seen wearing elsewhere somewhere. I think there was like something to do with raining too, I think it was supposedly raining somewhere at some time or something like that makes it. But anyways. This is the sort of stuff when you really get into the weeds of like when you get into like the timeline type stuff. But I just found it interesting that the McDonald's one seemed to fit this too. All right, so that's the video there. Now, I guess to kind of maybe come a little bit to Candace's aid here. I guess maybe not aid is the wrong word here, but there has been, I guess, to kind of give her a little more credit. She has, I mean, maybe this is all just theater on both sides, or maybe or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here. I just say, don't just trust anyone off of nothing. But here is something that's done the rounds in the past day or two. It says Charlie Kirk had breakup. This is from New York Post with Candace Owens after she went two down the rabbit holes. Now this is some guy that's out here now. Let's go ahead. We'll watch this. But there is they got this guy named Eric Bowling on there, and he said that Candace and Charlie had a breakup, but she apparently she literally spoke at multiple events last year. So this is a bizarre, crazy lie. Let's watch this together. So I mean, the people that are going against her are making her look pretty damn good.
At some point, her credibility, I mean, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
he was there in the room.
It.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
By the way, she claims he's not on the board. So I don't know if that's true or not.
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point?
Is it just me, or does he have that look of a raging alcoholic? He just has that look. You know what I mean? Aside from I feel like he's just missing the bloodshot eyes right now. You know what I'm talking about? That like someone who's been an alcoholic for a long time. He just look. Maybe I'm wrong, but
okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's
you don't
without
even
being
Adam.
biased.
There's
Candace even involved
there's
in Charlie Kirk's life at all?
No question proof.
By the way, this guy, dude, I don't ever really watch PBD, but that dude protests way too fucking much. I mean, holy shit, the glow. But let's play.
Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but
now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is so their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
she's not even there.
Yeah, she's not there. One of the names.
Wait, you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to the
okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean,
so that's just what it's so good for this to happen because you guys are watching everything that I'm saying and you can watch them lie. Eric Bowling, I just don't even get this one. How can you say that I have not spoken at a Turning Point USA conference in years when I literally went on tour with Turning Point USA on college campuses last year? That's just incredible. You didn't know that I went. I was on tour for Turning Point USA last year. And
then next to it, by the way, for those who, for the people, the audio people, there's literally the video we're watching is a split thing here on the side. It literally shows the YouTube video of Candace at one of the events in 2024 in June. So yeah, she's that is patently bullshit. That is bullshit for sure. That she wasn't. So I don't know what the deal is. And keep in mind, this is part of this back and forth between her and Ackman and all that. So don't know. Even to add to that, I guess Candace Owens is actually listed as an executive staff member on the USA website, on the TPS USA website. So you can see here if you scroll through, look, chair of Blexit, I guess it says there if you go to the site. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a bizarre thing to run with. Although, I mean, this is kind of this back and forth of this Ackman versus him, this weird 100 million plus follower combined retreat they had in the Hamptons that they supposedly all ganged up on Charlie on. And I think we've gotten this weird text from Ackman that was supposed to prove that they were actually friendly around the time of his death, which didn't really prove at all when the time was, and it was also a pretty standard back and forth. Frankly, it was the kind of back and forth that you could see having if you had a donor that you fucking hated, you hated his fucking guts, but he's your donor, or some sort of business relationship or someone that you have to you interact with civilly. And you don't want to show any sort of hate. The way he talks is exactly how you would talk to somebody like that. Just kind of curt answers oh, yep, it was nice seeing you, or whatever. It's kind of nothing overly, didn't feel overly genuine. Felt more like standard, the kind of, when the kind of things when somebody goes, "How are you doing?" You go, "Good." It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing good. It just means it's what you automatically say. You go like, "I hope you're doing well," or just normal niceties that people say back and forth in like a short conversation. It was those sort of things. And I go, "Look, see, is that the kind of thing someone would say to somebody that like just had a big argument or was going to murder him or some shit?" It's like, well, for one, we don't know the exact timing of this. Two, this doesn't at all display that you guys are best friends. Like, it honestly was even kind of a believable exchange, even if they had a blow up, because it could have been like I don't know, especially, let's be real, this guy's he's probably used, I wouldn't be surprised this guy has used Kirk's words against him 1,000,000 times. So I'm sure he's careful in how he does written things to people like him. So yeah, you're not going to probably find a back and forth text chain with like utter contempt for him. So yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it is kind of like, even if he had just completely done some weird intervention type thing, it still probably would be kind of the standard back and forth semi-friendly text. So anyways, that's interesting. More on the text chain stuff. This came out recently, according to the New York Times. This was a little slipped in there, and people have picked up on this. It says the text exchange between Mr. Robinson and his partner was reproduced by prosecutors in the charging document. Wording is important. Very important. As I pointed out when we had that weird video with Cash all over the fucking place. What the hell do you mean by reproduced? Now, we could give these people the benefit of the doubt and assume what they mean is, oh, we transcribed their words from these messages that we saw elsewhere. But if you now see this with the knowledge that they literally admitted that the note that they had gotten prior was due to their aggressive interrogation posture or something, then yeah, I'm going to be a little bit concerned, and honestly kind of almost need to go back and listen to your exact words. Be like, what did you say? Like, what does this also somehow, now you've used language that this leaks into other things aside from just the note? I'm unsure, and I think we need clarification. It says here, this guy says, Adam Cogner says, wow, according to the New York Times, suspicious text messages between Tyler Robinson and his partner were reproduced for the charging document, raising even more questions about their authenticity. Which, once again, this could mean nothing. This could just be they should have chose better words. Maybe the FBI should have been more clear in that, oh no, because it's very clear. We read the document. It's obviously not like a picture of the direct thing. It's literally someone, if we're going to take this, the best way to interpret it is, they took these body of text and they got some fucking intern to, I just want you to write these things out in some sort of Word document or something. Put ellipses between each whenever there's a break between the important ones or whatever. That's what it looks like. But I don't know. I also, once again, I'm not, when you already have part of this is reliant, this supposed note that says, I'm going to take out Charlie Kirk, which was floated out as like a almost smoking gun initially, is already being upheld on it no longer exists, but we know it exists because the roommate told us it exists. And then now we're getting this languages of these supposed texts were reproduced by prosecutors. I need some more information. I really do. It says not only do they not sound like a 22-year-old gamer, but no one has seen any timestamps. We don't know if they were text messages or on another platform like WhatsApp, Discord, or Telegram. And most importantly, we don't know if they are paraphrased, which is important because, everyone's been making fun of this. They're like, this is some Fed shit. But it's like, if this was like, yeah, I guess, let's say, okay, we'll take this two ways. Let's say to give them the benefit of the doubt, which kind of like they should just told us this. If they're just literally rewriting messages based on what they said, then yeah, I guess it would be filtered through their language. Although this is such a level of deception, it's insane because like there's no way that anyone would ever look at this and think that this wasn't like some sort of transcribing or something. Like the idea that like you were deceiving us to an insane degree if this is paraphrasing. So I don't know, just we're in weird territory. But it does give them an out if like with all of us freaking out and being like, this sounds like bullshit. This is totally bullshit. And when more stuff comes out later, it goes, I told you from the start, this is a reproduction. This is from our aggressive. So it's like, oh, we're supposed to just take your summary of the situation that he supposedly said these things? Nah. It says, for all we know, the FBI interrogated Robinson's partner under what they called aggressive interrogation posture. Under coercion, he could have recounted texts that they reconstructed. Normally, especially in a case pursuing capital punishment, we'd expect these text messages provided in full form. Not cut, not paraphrased, not reproduced, certainly not sounding like it was written by a 40-year-old cop. Where are the original text messages? Why aren't they included? Is any text missing from these that would change the tone or meaning? What are the timestamps? Do these texts even exist at all? This is another major screw up by the FBI that majorly risks this case. He says it's important to understand, but I don't think this means they are fully fake. I said they are likely paraphrased reconstructions from under interrogated duress, which makes them more dangerous, which is, he's not wrong. I mean, I know once again, maybe this is just jumping to conclusions based on wording, but after some of the wordings they said, you'd be kind of a fool not to. All right, we're going to get into some more stuff to wrap this up, but let's check in on the chat real quick. Don't be gay for McVeigh. Always drop a like, says Tom33. Yup. Hit the like button, people, says Bobo, for sure. All right. Jose or Doebo says nothing. Seems like nothing is true anymore. Everything is just fake and gay. What we conclude is assassinations make you hungry. Oh, you see me eat my sausage? Yeah. Let me see. They should just carry breakfast burritos with them. It's the perfect snack. Are you guys arguing about what? Are you guys debating what you should take with you for assassinations? So you don't have to stop for a quick snack and get busted on camera. Yeah. Andrew says I absolutely hate that host of PBD. Was it Adam? Yeah, that guy sucks. Grown men talking like a bunch of hens is PGR. Yeah. Who even cares if Charlie and Candace are cool? What's their point? Well, it matters because, I mean, a lot of what Candace is saying is kind of predicated on the idea that they had a close friendship. So, let me see. Anything else in here? See a bunch of y'all. Bobo says, internally suppressed cane gun and 300 blackout, stupid quiet, and no one knows it's a firearm. Ooh, you reminded me something. I wish I had thought of it before I got prepped. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick because there was a guy who did a recreation of a 30-06, and I wanted to see if I can't find it. Yeah, cool, I'll find it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second. I have another screen because he did a recreation of the shooting because I know we talked on the show a while back about the 30-06 thing, and then the idea of like the kind of damage that it would do, and I was like, I don't know, this seems unbelievable. I mean, I'm no gun expert or anything, but let me see if I can't find it. Give me a second. Sorry, here we go. This is actually, ironically enough, I just happened to be on my YouTube, and it just happened to be like the suggested video. And this is Valhalla. Is ironically the name of it is the thing. It's one of these like Green Beret guys, but I just thought it was particularly interesting that this guy he did a thing, and we kind of see it. Now I do want to front load this with the letting you guys know about the reminding you about the whole idea of the fucking what am I trying to say, the bulletproof vest. Why can't I think of that word? Bulletproof vest. And the idea, the seemingly reason why that got floated out is like people are trying to make the case that like it supposedly glanced it, and that's why then you don't get an insane thing that we're about to see right now. But I'm going to show you what actually happens when you fire a 30-06 at a human neck. If it'll play. All right. Well, maybe. Okay, here we go. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, it's muted. My bad.
Soft tissue in the neck near the carotid from a 30-06 round from 150 meters. Okay.
Sorry. Internet is just decided to shit the bed, I guess. Let me see if it comes back.
Let's look at a little demonstration. All right, guys, this is going to be an actual ballistics demonstration of what a 30-06 round does to a mock gel human skull, okay? And then these are
give me a second. Let me try something, see if I can get better. Let me get better this real quick. Let me try this real quick. I really want you guys to see this because now you mentioned it. Let's go and play this.
literally designed to see what ballistics actually do to the human body. This is the 30-06 round. Let's take a watch.
Sorry, it's low. See, just exploded. That's a 30x6 round to the fucking to the neck. That's what it is. His head's fucking gone. If he had gunfire, I mean, I'm back to this. Like, I think if he got shot with a 30-06, his head would be. And now they actually show. Let me see if I can find. You can show. I mean, this is gross, but we can see here. We can see the. I mean, let me see if it stops loading.
Really small wound as you still frame the pictures.
God damn it! I'm sorry with the internet.
So
right now.
here's the
All
actual.
right, here's the picture. You can see right here. Now that is the wound. That's the wound. Do you guys just see what we just did a second ago? I mean, please tell me that you guys were able to actually see that. Yeah. Compare that to that. Yeah, I really don't think he got it with 30-06. And then more kind of in this vein here is I don't know with this. I saw this actually yesterday or a couple days ago, and I was like almost brought it up, but I mean enough of you guys tagged me in it that I was like, okay, whatever. At least bring it up. Anytime we get into this stuff like this, like acoustic analysis or this or that, I don't know. I have no idea. But just this is some account. There are these acoustic analysis people out here. So if there's any acoustic nerds. But apparently there are people saying the acoustic analysis confirms shooter was near ground level around 70 to 90 feet away, not a rooftop. Crack bang intervals across all recordings, 0.08 to 0.14 seconds, 70 to 90 feet distance, speed of sound at 82 Fahrenheit equals 101,141 feet per second. Closest audio clip shows total crack bang overlap impact clear less than 100 feet. So, because I know that's everyone pointing to some sort of boom crack or whatever, or crack bang or whatever. I don't know. Now, this is out there. I don't know. Maybe this means something to you guys. I'm not going to take a lot with this because I don't know. But I do lean towards that was not a goddamn fucking 30-06 at all. Holy shit, no. No way, Jose. I said it. I said the word. I said the thing. All right, let's watch this clip. Remember I told you about the university to keep an eye on that? Let's watch this.
Okay, does anyone else think it's odd that Tyler Robinson, the Charlie Kirk shooting suspect, heads to Utah State University, a school with uniquely heavy CIA ties, for just one semester in 2021 as a pre-engineering major, then mysteriously drops out and heads back home? He was a bright kid, top 1%, ACT score of 34, 4.0 GPA in high school, and got a $32,000 presidential scholarship. The university's Center for Anticipatory Intelligence, the nation's first program of its kind, led by ex-CIA analyst Jeannie Johnson and co-founded by former CIA Assistant Director Matt.
Keep in mind, I think she just said it. This guy had a 34 ACT. For comparison, I made 29, and I had the second highest ACT score in my graduating class. Then the highest one in my graduating class, the valedictorian, got a 30. I mean, I wasn't the valedictorian salutatorian. I was kind of a slacker, but I was like kind of a perennial A and B student. I guess I wouldn't say slacker, but I wasn't trying to exceed. So, but yeah, that for comparison, this motherfucker's smart. What is it? 36 is the max, I think, or something like that. Yeah, he's a smart motherfucker.
Barrett.
And then there's this predictive intelligence program.
Actively recruits STEM kids like Tyler for its interdisciplinary intelligence training. There are no known direct connections yet, but with the U.S. use strong CIA and Israeli ties via over $2.4 million in research grants, you have to wonder what sparked the sudden exit. What do you guys think? Comment below.
So they do have these weird things. I mean, this is the Mormons here, which apparently, I guess, once again, this is something that came out of the Candace thing. They're saying that apparently Lance Twiggs, Lance Twiggs and Robinson were living in one of his, I think, one of the apartments, and I guess supposedly, once again, this is all on Candace's, whatever, which, I don't know, but this is stuff that'd be weird to lie about. But supposedly, I guess, Lance's parents own a bunch of apartments, so they let them live in one for paying some sort of rent or something, I think, and the reason why they kicked him out, which I don't know, I find this kind of interesting, is I guess supposedly the claim is that he laughed at them or something when they were talking about demons or something. And these are very religious Mormon people, supposedly. Same go. I think. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to say that because I don't know that. But I was going to say the same goes for Tyler. I've heard a lot of people saying that Tyler's family was Mormon as well. I don't know if that's true. But Utah is basically the Mormon state, and it has been a front for intelligence stuff in the past. Here's another one, kind of like what the fuck's going on in Washington City. There was recently another trans type killing, which, I mean, that doesn't mean I'm buying into that whole lefty whatever the fuck. I think there's some sort of glowy component going on here, but let's watch this.
A Washington City woman accused of killing her parents is back in the headlines, this time appealing directly to the Utah Supreme Court. 29-year-old Mia Bailey is facing 10 felony charges, including 2 counts of aggravated murder and 1 count of attempted aggravated murder after the shocking deaths of her parents, Joseph and Gail Bailey. Authorities say Bailey also attempted to shoot her brother that same night. She was arrested the next day and has remained in jail ever since, held without bail. Bailey, a transgender woman who legally changed her name and gender in 2023, now finds herself at the center of a legal twist. In late June, Bailey submitted a written request to the judge, appealing to the state's decision not to seek the death penalty. The Utah Supreme Court acknowledged the receipt of the appeal on July 30th, but so far there has been no public response beyond that letter.
Ms. Bailey, there are some things that that recently you had submitted something to the court that ultimately was submitted to the higher court, and that has been, and there's some questions as far as just what has been said in there.
In Thursday's court hearing, Bailey's mental competency was discussed, a potential factor on how this high-profile case may unfold.
Your Honor, I set the appeal because it was a contingency plan. I had received advice from my family and fellow friends to offer those
Your Honor,
deals.
with the competency.
I'd like to speak, please.
All right. But right now, first, I've ordered to have a competency evaluation report. We'll get that report back, and we'll see what it says, okay?
Prosecutors have stated they reviewed the facts carefully before choosing not to pursue the death penalty. As the case continues to develop, questions remain about Bailey's mental state. See the full story by Cody Blowers on stgeorgenews.com. This is St. George News, your #1 source for local.
Now, I know maybe some of the video watchers here, the YouTubers or the Rumblers, you may have read this little video here at the top, but for those who haven't, particularly my audio audience, well, what it's showing on this as we're playing this video, there's a tweet on there, and it says, the original tweet says, watch, just 1 month before Charlie Kirk's assassination, a young cross-dressing man in Utah requested the death penalty for himself after confessing to murdering both his parents and attempting to murder his brother. This story received little media interest. And the quote tweet here was, his parents lived 5 minutes from Robinson's parents, and he was found in St. George a couple miles from Robinson's house, is what is happening in Utah. Obviously, this doesn't necessarily mean they're connected, but the location, the close location does make you go, what the fuck? Especially as we're getting down to, at least 3 people that are, with Zinn, we got Robinson, and then we got the other guy that are under a loose. It varies between very, very loose aspersions to actual legitimately, I guess, claims by military, or not military, but the police that they did it, how do I put this? Sexually degenerate. I'm trying to imply, what I'm trying to say is there's been aspersions to, I guess, pedophilia or stuff that one could be blackmailed with amongst a few of these people. Now, obviously, the Zinn one's much more clear. I know I brought that one yesterday, but then I wasn't even able to find whatever supposed thing he was using to support some sort of pedo angle. And then even then for Lance Twiggs, the pedo angle is kind of uphold on a trust me bro. That's even then kind of a vague allusion from Candace. So just saying, though, I don't know. Who knows if maybe this does it. Maybe the left is, maybe the right is right, and this is just some generic lefty troon fucking, runaway whatever fucking cult that has no. I think there's something more going on. We'll see. It seems all too convenient for me. But with that, guys, I think we're about done for today. Let's roll the chat, see what all you guys can say, and then we're gonna get out of here. I got a fun little outro for you guys. You'll like it. But according to the Kay Griggs interview, the trans activists and neocons do the same things behind closed doors, probably. Chaco hosts could be subsonic, solid course, no expansion, probably, but not possible. He would have to hand load himself. Couldn't purchase this. So you're saying that? I'm assuming you're saying in order for the shot that he got, if he used if he essentially made his own ammunition, there's a way he could have used a 30-06 bullet that was, I guess, modified in a way so it would leave a different boom. A different impact, I guess. So, but yeah, okay, all right. I guess I'll take your word for that. I'm gonna say bye-bye. There we go. Oh, Strauss, the Cornfield Las Vegas shooter allegedly had child porn on his laptop in the room. Why the hell would he bring that? Yeah, well, I mean, I guess he just wanted to crank one out before that. But yeah, obviously that's an awful joke. That's an awful joke. But it is weird. These connections, these parallels. I don't know. May not mean nothing, but we'll see. Yeah, see, Boba said he wanted a quick goon session before he opened fire to try to calm himself. Yeah. All right, guys. For those who want to support what I'm doing over here, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Those are all things you can do to help out the show that go a long ways, and you don't have to chip in any money for that. But if you don't want to help me in the best way you possibly can, you can do that over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. The lowest level is $2. That gives you access to early episodes. I do about 1 to 2 of those a week usually. I do about 4, keep about 4 behind the paywall any given time. And then, you also get an ad-free RSS feed. You also get the access to Telegram, and you get access to pre-show, post-show, and video calls from me and Austin's weekly live call-in show on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. The highest level is my sponsors. I give them a big shout-out. Every episode is a big thank you for everything they do. I have my previous co-hosts on Tower Gang, at Learn to Toad, my bad, at Abrogate D's, at ZOVRECK, at _Invizio, Tim Tuttle, at Jolly Klebold, Willowbell's Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torrin May, at Wayne Taculus, The Catcher in the Rye, and Mark Vestibule, my old Tower Gang homie, fan from back in the day. With that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Also, don't forget I'm on Rumble, on YouTube, also all the auto packages if you want to listen on audio. Definitely try to pop in for the lives. That's where it's fun and you can hang out with us. It helps out the algo boost, so I'm be honest there. But nice hanging out with y'all. Keep in mind, you see, Boas is not awful joke. It's made the same one. So how long does it take to grave bullets, says Rajo Monkey. Not something many people know how to do. Yeah, that is wild. That is one point I never really honed in on. For one, it was like one of those I think was something ridiculous, like 30 characters, right? Like one of the bullets, I'll even catch this fascist. I mean, that's like, I don't know, it's got to be at least 15-ish characters. There was another one that was longer. I think it was around 30. They got like Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao. If you read this, you're gay. There was what was the other one? I forget what the other one was. But yeah, there were a lot of characters, and apparently you only really can get like, from what I've heard elsewhere, is like so far as bullets, you can only usually get around 12-ish in, and even so, like I don't know. I mean, maybe there's machines for engraving. It seems a bit much. So, all right. Bobo says if you have an empty casing, you could just laser engrave it and then reload it after the engraving. I guess that's maybe. I guess if you could, well, that wouldn't make sense though because 3 of them weren't used. Okay. I get what you're saying because you're like concerned that maybe the laser could put it off or something. I get what you're saying. Okay. Maybe he did. I don't know. It seems bizarre to me. The engraving seems odd. But all right, guys, we're out of here. Like I said, I won't be here Monday. I'm picking up some work that day. But I should be back Tuesday through Friday. So pop in 11 a.m. Eastern usually. Sometimes may go a little early, a little late, give or take. Join me. Obviously, I keep an eye out for some of the paywalled episodes. Like I said, I have Nick Bryant coming from the show next week, so I'll go see what all I got back there if you do want to. It's only $2. But with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy this outro. This is a funny one, and it's topical.
Hello, my love. You have no doubt heard of the shooting, and I must admit, 'twas I. I had hoped to keep the secret to the grave, but alas, I have not lasted the better part of an hour. Why have I committed this act? 'Twas the hate of the man. Reason had no purchase in the poor soil of his soul. You have not asked, but in case you were wondering where I hid the rifle, my love, 'twas over yonder by that lingering squad car. My old man shall surely be missing it presently. Do you remember how I was engraving bullets the other day in front of you? Well, it was just to do a big meme. Look no further into that. Also, I shall now misquote my own meme. Ooh woo, oh whoa. Probably makes no difference. I apologize to involve you and for this text to be so short, but I am on the lam. In conclusion, I beg you keep this from the prying eyes of the fuzz.